What's going on, team? Proof here. Welcome to the next deck showcase video. And the deck that I'm going over today is probably the most popular deck that set 1 had to offer, which is Bolmeteus control. Now there are many variations to this, but I just wanted to pick one and go with it just to give you guys an idea of how the deck style functions. And generally speaking, the game plan of it is to, as the name implies, to control the game and win through Bolmeteus Steel Dragon here, whose ability says that when it breaks a shield, it destroys it instead. So normally when you break a shield, it goes to your hand and becomes a resource for you to use. Bolmeteus says, nah, forget all that, I'm gonna destroy it, and it goes straight to the graveyard. So it doesn't go to hand, and you don't trigger shield trigger with it either. So idea is to grind your opponent down and then win through Bolmeteus. So let's go through the cards one by one though. So first off, we have Sirius here, just a 2-mana blocker. Just something you want to have against early aggressive decks because you mainly lose against aggressive decks that can outlast your control elements. So this here helps stem the bleeding a little bit. Next up, we have Ghost Touch, which is 2-mana shield trigger, and your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Really strong card in the early game, not only because it gets rid of a card from your opponent's hand, but it gives you information, and information is key for a control deck. So if your opponent plays something as mana, it might not be clear what they're playing. If you drop Ghost Touch soon thereafter, you might see something different that gives you an idea of what they're playing, so you can plan your game plan around what to keep in your hand versus what to put into your mana zone versus what to cast at what time. Then to have a couple energy streams, just 3 mana, draw 2 cards. It's Pot of Greed, basically. 2 Phantom Bite, shield trigger, give one of your opponent's creatures minus 2,000 power to the end of turn. So as I talked about in a previous video, when a creature gets minus power and it hits 0, it's destroyed. So this is good for taking out creatures with 2,000 power or less, but also helps me trade into other cards without losing my creature. So a recent example happened where my opponent had an 8,000 power creature out. I used Phantom Bite, and then I was able to kill it with Bolmeteus attacking into it, as opposed to having to use something different or just having it exist on the field and being a threat. Then we have 4 Pakari, which is an angel command, and it 4 mana blocker, draw a card. So easy resource generation, and it's a blocker to help you survive against aggressive decks. 4 Locomotiver, which is a shield trigger creature, and then similar to Ghost Touch is that when it comes into play, your opponent discards a random card. So this gives you a body to stick around, really good against aggressive decks and just in general because it's relatively cheap. But if you play as a shield trigger creature, you can discard one of your opponent's cards and then potentially trade into one of your opponent's creatures. 3 Rumble Gate, which says give all your creatures plus 1,000 power until the end of turn, and then they can attack untapped creatures. So ordinarily you can only attack a creature if it's tapped down or if you have something else that lets you attack untapped creatures. Rumble Gate here just gives that a global effect for the turn, and it becomes a board wipe for you, which is really important. Then we have 2 Miss Rias. Miss Rias says when another creature comes into the battle zone, you draw a card. So if this comes down at a safe time and it exists, it can just become a big resource generation. Be careful though, because you don't want it to go too long, because then you could risk decking out, which is this thing that can happen with control decks with Miss Rias behind it. Then we have 2 Alcadeus, Lord of Spirits, and it evolves on top of Angel Commands, which means that Pakari is an eligible evolution bait. And it's a double breaker, and all players can only cast light spells. So you might ask yourself, why am I using this in a deck that has no light spells? And that's because it can counter opposing control decks, because typically they can't handle Alcadeus coming down so quickly to where you can field it and just become the aggressor in that matchup. So you want to be careful with it, not to screw yourself over by using it at an untimely fashion, but it is a viable option to help you finish the game, because it can offer global protection to your own creatures after you've controlled the game down, and then they become attackers as well. 4 Aqua Surfer, just shield trigger, bounce a creature back to your opponent's hand. This helps us against aggressive decks, as I mentioned often. It helps us against opposing control decks because we can bounce their own Alcadeus back to hand, and it can bounce their own Bolmeteus back to hand just to give us some time to find an answer. We have 4 Terror Pit, shield trigger, and then destroy one of your opponent's creatures. Just no power restriction, no cost restriction, nothing like that. Just blanket destroy the creature. Really good, really strong, and definitely want to play 4 of these in control decks that use darkness cards. Then we have 2 Burst Shot. So we have a board wipe here. Destroys all creatures with 2000 power or less. It hits our own creatures, which is unfortunate, but ideally we're going to be using mostly Bolmeteus to destroy their shields. And then last but not least, the key card, Bolmeteus, that I talked about not too long ago. So that's the deck. These games might go a little bit longer because we might run into an opposing control matchup, but there also might be the chance that the game runs long because there's always an outside chance your control opponent might brick and you might keep the game going for longer, try to squeeze through that door just a little bit. So yeah, we'll go ahead and hop into the games now. I just realized that I spent that entire intro not in full screen mode, but whatever, we'll keep it. I don't want to redo that because it was really good. Okay, so we're first. I'd rather give this up going in blind. Everything else is relatively useful. So turn 2 likely is going to be this to mana, play that. Our opponent played this, which could be a number of things. It could be an aggressive deck, could be a control deck. I might want to hold on to both of these. Let's see. Okay. We're playing the control mirror. So that kind of sucks. Well, maybe not necessarily. It could just be playing Water Darkness. We'll find out. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Goodbye, Terror Pit. Horde Worm here says when it attacks, your opponent discards a card at random, but it has to attack, which means it's gonna probably break a shield. So instead of netting in your hand, you break even. So he's stuck at 3 mana. Interesting. Oh, nice card. I want to keep advancing my own game plan. It's like I'm playing just light darkness right now. Well, he saw the rumble gate. He or she, our opponent. Play that as mana. Just got hit by the discard train. They might evolve their worm. Or what's that, Shadow Moon? Let's have the second one. Shadow Moon increased the power of all their darkness creatures by 2,000. So getting our own rumble gate would be really nice right now. No, I'm not gonna block that. Sweet. Be gone. Actually, rumble gate won't matter here. because I can't play it anyway. I'm willing to take this trade here, just to stop it, and it prevents the worm evolution from coming down. We're in trouble though. Nah, that doesn't really help me. But it's the best play that I have. So I need a shield trigger to save me. I need a shield trigger, then I need to draw a blocker. Nope. Ah, we lost. Let's see. I don't think I could have done anything different there, just because the early discard was so aggressive on both sides, and then I didn't have the supplemental draw to make up for it, unlike my opponent. Well, I had some help in them breaking my shield into it, but still didn't have many follow-ups. But that's okay. On to the next one. All right, we're going second. Sometimes second benefits us because we get the extra card into our hand. I got a thick hand. Still thick. Actually, I should have played Aqua Surfer, just in case he gets discarded. Ooh, Diamond Cutter. So if our opponent is playing something like this, we just need to just have a couple removal options ready. Doesn't help when they all come to our hand though, huh? Propeller Mutant here says when it's destroyed, your opponent discards a card at random. That's what we get. Cool. Get the Loco out there. Another Propeller. I'm gonna play my other Loco. I need light mana though, so it'd be good to get that at some point soon. Ooh. So it looks like they're only playing light and darkness. Unless they might have a splash of probably blue in there. That's because blue is a common splash color, as you can see with this deck. Oh, I got the light card. Let's see, emergency mode, I can use burst shot here to nuke all these creatures. But I want to see if I can get some value out of Miss Rias first. I also just want to just drop the Diamond Cutter. Diamond Cutter lets anything that prevents you from attacking your opponent, let them attack opponent. I'm gonna return this one. Just because I can't relatively trade into it, or easily trade into it. I don't mind him getting the extra card. If only I knew. If only I knew. So best thing would be for me to get a discard card. Or I'll just hold on to both of these into my hand. Now we got the good foot. I'm gonna hold on to this just in case. I think the thing I don't need now is this burst shot. I'm holding on to both of these because I'm going to attack into the propeller mutant, and I don't want to discard. I don't want to put this to mana and then discard this through killing mutant. See? So he's probably going to play the Bakari. I'm gonna just drop the Bolmeteus on the board. If they have the Terror Pit, they have it. Actually, it would have been better for me to play both of these. That was a mistake on my part. Because we've seen 2 Terror Pits, but still they could have it. That's a good sign. Next turn, regardless, I'm going to play both my discard options. I don't want to play mana first. No, I like my hand the way it is. Let's draw. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention with Miss Rias is that it won't draw you a card if you already have 6 cards in your hand. So you can freely play it at 6 cards. It won't draw you an extra one. Yosin. Haven't seen Yosin in a long time. All right, feel looking kind of dangerous. So I'm going to use this on that to reduce the power by 2,000, and then I'm gonna play Rumblegate. Then I'm gonna throw this here to see what they want to do. Okay. And I'm gonna throw this one at it. And it clears up some field space for me too. Nah, I'd rather just get them out the way. Hold this control down. And they scooped it up. They saw the writing on the wall. I was going to play my second Phantom Bite to get rid of the worm and then just break shield with Bolmeteus, because at that point, I wonder if I wanted to break the last one too. Because at that point I would have been in a good spot, and then I had Alcadius to finish it off. I wonder. It's close, because then if they top deck Terror Pit, I probably would just play the second Bolmeteus and then broke shields. That way, if they remove the first one somehow, I would have the second one as a backup. There was no way I would have lost to anything that they could have played because I had the blocker around. So playing Bolmeteus would have been the better play there. On to the last game. Going first against Longtown. Longtown Road. Okay. Got a nice medium hand in terms of cost of stuff. Ooh. What was that, Spiral Slider? Spiral Slider could mean that they're playing either mono water or some form of aggressive deck, or something like water nature ramp. But let's get some more info. I got a nice hand against aggressive decks. Yeah, it could be mono water. Mono water is relatively tough for this deck because they have a lot of draw options. So our discard typically isn't enough to get there. I'm gonna hold on to this because it makes a nice drop before Lancer comes down. I don't think I'm gonna need this though. Ooh, the tech. Aqua Soldier here says when it's destroyed, return back to hand. So I have to be able to destroy it and discard in the same turn to permanently get rid of it. I want to hold on to this though, because I can play it next turn. But I also want to hold on to this, but this is very important as well. This is the least important. Hopefully I get one of their draw cards. Missed. They're probably gonna break shield, yeah. Ooh, that was a big hit there. Because Merfolk says draw 3 cards if you control a Cyber Lord. Peckleton here is a Cyber Lord. So that was a big hit for us. I'll do the trade. This will at least hold him back for a turn. As in I don't lose 2 shields this coming turn. Oh, they skipped. Interesting. The best card for me to get here is probably Pakari, just because it becomes a draw 2 with Miss Rias. Get rid of that duder. I'm gonna play the second Miss Rias here, solely because I have the burst shot in case things go crazy. The best card for me to get right now would be Rumblegate. I still want Rumblegate. Aha! Thanks, bud. Alright, so I'll drop this. Off rip. Put that into that dude. And I'm still at 6 cards, which means Miss Rias won't draw me a card, which is pretty okay at this point. Got some Leviathans in there, which means they might be playing Legendary Binor, but he costs 7 mana. Did I already put one into mana? I did not yet. Alright, I'll drop this. I'll get the Bolmeteus out there. Usually this draws the attention of bounce effects, so I'd rather them get them out. Okay, great. So this turn is going to be a Picari plus Rumble Gate turn. I'm going to trade off a Miss Rias for it. And then break 2 shields with Bolmeteus. All the triggers. You've done your job, Misty. Now I'm in a place where I can just keep destroying the things that they play to prevent them being able to remove my Bolmeteus. Ah, there's the Surfer. How many cards left in my hand? 15. Let's see, 1, 2. Seen 2 Aqua Surfers, so I don't feel safe deploying Alcadeus and pushing for game. In which case, because blockers don't really matter too much against mono water. I don't think I need 2 Bolmeteuses. I do want to get the Sirius down, just in case they have a bounce spell, and they're trying to push for game, like just to get the last shield out the way without relying on an evolution creature. So like trying to constrain their resources to focus on, if they focus on one thing, the other thing provides a backup. So yeah, I'm going for game now. I got the wherewithal. That's a bad word to say, but I have the means to do it. Because Bolmeteus can destroy 2 shields, they likely don't have Holy Eye in their deck, based off of what we've seen. So I can play around, now I can reliably play around an Aqua Surfer coming down, because 1 Aqua Surfer can't remove 3 creatures. Get that out the way. What were those? Unicorn. Ah, found the Binor. I should let Miss Rias get the finishing blow because she carried me, or it carried me. So they had some counter technology, but we just had the answers and we drew them at the right time. So yeah, that was a pretty good showcase. We didn't run into like super meta decks. We did run into one matchup that was particularly tough for us. But yeah, that'll do it for the deck. It's been showing me good results in rank so far. I'm currently, as of this video, 3-0 with it in rank, and I just made this yesterday just to try to get an idea of how it functioned. But yeah, hope you enjoy. I do want to do, the set comes out in a couple days, and I have one more of the showcase videos for the set 1 meta decks to show before that happens. So yeah, let me know how you enjoyed this, and let me know, give me your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Be easy.
Listen.